Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody's having a wonderful week. It's Wednesday. It's rise and grind time. It's a beautiful time. I was thinking today as I was coming in, what would I like the topic today be to help as many people as I can. Um, this is the point in AEP for most where it's one or two directions. Either you're at or ahead of your pace or schedule or goal or whatever in your mind, or you're behind. Usually most people aren't like right there in the middle. And I would say for those that are earlier in that journey where you're still working on maybe finding yourself, maybe getting momentum, maybe you're wondering, why am I still doing this? Maybe even sitting at a store 20 hours a week, all AEP, and you haven't had any traction or any interest, and you're struggling and you're floundering and all those things. In reality, this is where you want to take inventory of what has worked, what hasn't worked, and double down on stuff that is working, triple down, or go all in on. Sometimes makes sense to do that. You really want to have a position of reflection and honesty with yourself that allows you to pivot, and or stay the course, right? If you're on pace and you're ahead of schedule and you're doing the things that you want to be doing and are doing, then you can double down on what you're doing, right? But if you're having no success at all, then this is an opportunity to regroup. There's plenty of time left. I mean, there's always a sense of urgency once you start getting into November, because like, oh crap, we only have a couple of 3-4 weeks left, right? I don't. Today's the 8th, so what are we down to 30 days left? So 30 days to make a difference in your existence. Tyler will be on shortly. He's writing an app like he should be, so that's awesome. But you should be able at this point to pinpoint either what is or what isn't going correctly, what is or isn't working well, and what have I found? For me, it's been, I've had to drastically alter things as far as what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, where I was primarily in the field driving around for the first 4 or 5 days of AEP. And then, had to deal with a health issue, having a heart attack, which made me alter everything I've been doing for the last few weeks. This has been my last week of converting everything to phone calls, and then I'll be in the field again. But so I'm ahead of pace, despite taking 4 days off to go to Dallas, despite taking Sundays off this year, despite all my efforts to slow myself down, right? And I am taking it easy. I'm coasting. And it's a steady, I have to run the numbers on the average, but it's like a steady 11 app a day, 11 people a day that I'm helping. A blend of current clients and referrals, and it's always a blend. Yesterday I had 6 referrals, inbound calls, texts of some type of people wanting to schedule. And at this point, if your schedule's not full, it's your opportunity to take ownership of you. I mean, that's why it's called your schedule, right? It's called my schedule. So it's my responsibility to fill my schedule with what I would call money-making activities. Money-making activities are getting out in the world and introducing yourself to more people, putting yourself in an environment where you're in front of more people. And you also should be wearing things that make you unique. You should either dress up or dress consistently, brand yourself. And I still have my branded clothing on at all times. And so that's, well, I can't say all times. I actually was proud of myself. The trip to Dallas for a mastermind, which was way worth the time. I didn't bring one piece of branded clothing to that excursion. I'm right now, I'm stretching myself outside of comfort zones and trying to alter things to prepare myself for a transition. And you might have to do the same thing at times, right? We all go through periods in time where we are faced with challenges, or we're faced with adversity, or things don't work like we're thinking they're going to work, or in our mind it was going to happen this way, and then reality set in, and all those things allow for your opportunity to grow. And that's really where the biggest steps that you'll have is when you start to invest in yourself and you start to really take what you want by the horns. And too many people that I know, love, care about, even people I don't like, allow the pollution of what others either do think, will think, are thinking, might think about you and me and what we are going to do or think and do and all that. And in reality, it doesn't really matter. And you've got to focus and pivot. And so what would I do right now if I was having no success in AEP? I would find a niche angle in my market, either a plan with a Part B give back, or maybe a unique plan with some benefits that are maybe unique to them, as far as sizzle and all that kind of thing. Think of what the TV commercials are putting out there for your consumer to simmer on, and then you've got to find an angle in that allows you to fill the gap, fill the need, find the point of pain. Fear of loss, so fear of losing out, of missing out, FOMO, right? Using that opportunity allows you to pivot. But so if I were having to pivot, I would do is I would look for something like on perhaps maybe one of the Humana plans where there's the DOAC program or COTPD program, or I would look for a plan with a grocery card, or more over the counter, or more dental, or easier to use dental, or stronger copays, or some angle that you could then go out on an educational campaign, educating as many people of influence in your community about the opportunities that are there for you to help people. And specifically, you have to have ammunition on what specific things you can help with, number one, and two, who is the person, what describe to that opportunity, a referral partner opportunity, describe who it is you're looking for. What situation are they in? How old are they? What coverage should they have? What questions should they ask? Give them some ammunition to look out for so they can redirect that to you. And so right now, leads are, if you have money, obviously leads would be a good thing to buy. If you don't have money and you're relying on sweat equity, then like I said, I would just hit the streets. And if you don't have gas money, then hit the streets, literally the old school walk and talk. You get your butt out there. You can work a 3-mile radius in an 8-hour day if you walk and talk and you plan and strategize that path, and you go out with a mission and you have a unique way that you carry yourself. You want to have a presence. Having a presence makes you magnetized. And when you're magnetized, people are drawn to you, right? And so pivoting, starting over, that kind of thing. But what you don't want to do is double down on what's not working. Okay. So just keep doing the same thing if it's not working. You got to make modifications, make adjustments, make proactive and reactive adjustments to what you're doing, what you're saying, how you're saying it, who you're saying it to. As an example, if you're working at a retail location and you're like, well, there's not that many people in my target market walking by. Well, then you got to pivot and figure, okay, so if somebody 40 years old walks by me, how old are their parents? Are their parents my target market? And how can I talk to them to get to their parents? Because sometimes you need a referral from a referral, and the further layers down in those generations of referrals you can get, usually that you'll find more and more opportunity the more layers you're allowed to go, and then you force yourself to go, because all you got to do is just keep asking the question, who do you know that I can help with? Who needs help with this? Who needs help with dental? Who do you know that needs help with grocery money? Who do you know that needs help with their Part B premium, putting a dent in their Social Security? If you think about it, the impact of somebody that you run into, in our area in Denver, Colorado, there's some plans that have some givebacks over $100 a month, and that kind of impact, somebody that's living on $1,500 a month as an example, and they're taking $174.70 out of their Social Security check for Medicare. What kind of impact can you have on someone's life by handing them $100 and something of that back? There's some powerful impact that you can have, and that's a point of pain, right? A point of pain. And if you don't think they're not watching, I get asked the question at least 50 times a month of, I saw on Facebook, or I saw online, or I saw here, or I saw there that this exists, blank exists. There's up to $4,200 a year available for money in my check, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I get that all the time. So the advertising's out there. So in my experience, when someone has more money than me and they're advertising and it's working, then I learn how to capitalize on their marketing. Learn how to pivot off what other people are doing to take advantage of their marketing. Take advantage of others' marketing if you don't have money to market yourself, right? And so the business is simple. The grind is hard. The process is simple. The effort, the discipline, the persistency, the consistency is the hard part, because the discipline, persistency, and consistency includes keep on doing it when you're not in the mood, when it's not working, when you don't wanna, when everybody's been mean to you. The more opportunity you have to go through adversity, the sunnier the sunshine feels when the clouds lift. So you've got to have that discipline. You've got to have the persistency and consistency. Stay on top of it. The discipline is everything. That's what it says. That's what life is. Discipline is everything, because the separator between people with talent and without talent can be work ethic, discipline, creativeness, uniqueness. What kind of uniqueness are you bringing to your market? What kind of uniqueness do you bring to the people that you have an influence on in your sphere of influence? What kind of impact are you having on the people that are around you? What kind of influence do you have? Good or bad? Do you have a good attitude? Do you have a bad attitude? Do you care about your appearance? Do you not care about your appearance? Because I can tell you, since I have decided to level up my game on what I'm wearing, it has increased the awareness of others around me of the presence that I have. And you can do that. You have the power to adjust your presence on the fly. Like, I'm going to be participating this year again in No Shave November. So I hope y'all join me in participation with that, and the awareness of prostate cancer and everything else with that goes with that. And actually donate the money. Don't just not shave. Donate some money too. That's my encouragement of the day. But find a way to keep creating a unique presence until you find something that people react to, then double down on that. People started reacting to me dressing better, so I just tripled down and quadrupled down on that. Got a bunch of new stuff to throw into the repertoire, and it carries about with that a different presence. And with a different presence, it also offers you opportunity to change other things about your personality, how you do things, how you think, how you behave, your habits. You have an opportunity to adjust all of that at any time and reinvent yourself, right? But reinventing yourself isn't just talking about it. Pivoting and starting over mid-AEP is not just something you talk about. You have to really take massive, determined action, and it requires that determined action to occur in a manner at which you probably don't want to. You don't want to do it. Nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to go through the struggle and the grind. But yeah, if you're watching and you have a topic you'd like me to go into, maybe something you're struggling with in AEP, maybe something you're looking for, that I don't do this thing for me. I do this for everybody else. So if you're out there and you're watching and you aren't driving or something, let me know in the comments or whatever. What's going well for you? What's not going well for you? Are you on track? What can I help with? Or whatever, anything. Drink lots of water. I can definitely encourage that. Tyler should be joining us shortly. He's finishing up helping someone himself. So yeah, I guess everybody's just gonna sit there. All right. That's good. Yeah, I've seen a lot of noise in the last couple of days about the sky falling. Here's what I'll tell you. I'm ignoring it. I don't care. So don't ask me on it. I've been in the business almost 19 years, and I can tell you everything changes all the time. The sky's fallen so many times at this point in my career that whatever. Opportunity will still exist wherever there are problems to be solved. An homage to Coach Burt. But in essence, the skill sets you have should translate. So the sky's not falling. There's still going to be people that need help. They're not going to eliminate opportunity. What they are going to crack down where there's seepage and where there is moving parts, wasted money, and people out there where there's big opportunity. Usually you find big laziness, big taking advantage of pockets as well, right next to the people grinding and working hard and doing it the right way. And so there's always going to be stuff that they push around for that. My advice to everybody is just keep focused on what you're doing and work on you and leveling you up and making you better. Morning, Angela. What would you do if you're working a food pantry and there's a captive agent there going card to card with a clipboard in hand? Well, that's in the gray area of compliance. I guess what would I do? I would just outwork the line. I would juggle. I would sing. I would dance. I would do whatever I had. Do whatever I had in front of me. But at a food pantry, in my experience, I always get set up on the line by the food bank we work with, and getting set up on the line is really important. Let me see one thing. But if you, I guess when you mean what would I do you mean what would I do to respond? I nothing really, other than try to do it better than them. A captive agent, I'm sure I can guess the carrier, but yeah, one is right at the door, but the other they stay in cars. In my experience, the best course of action at a food pantry or food bank is to offer everybody something of value that has nothing to do with insurance. So if people are at a food bank and they're coming there, I can guarantee a few things. Either they're faking it and then whatever, or they're in a true need position where they need food. Like they're there for food. Like they can't afford enough food where they have to go show up somewhere that's embarrassing to get food. And it's not embarrassing to all, but it's embarrassing to some. And yeah, Dollar Tree items to give away for sure. But yeah, anything. People in poverty, one of the most magical words you can use is the word free, which is why we're not allowed to use it in that kind of setting. However, let's see. I would probably offer something that, like, as an example, if it's a cold morning, then I might hand out hand warmers. As a small example of that, if I'm seeing trends and things, like there's a lot of angles you could take. There's a lot of angles that you could take. Even something like if you find out that your food bank is low on meat, as an example, then maybe going down and buying, I don't know, 50 packs of bologna, or they're $1 a piece or whatever for the bar ass bologna. Maybe it's $2 now with inflation. I don't know, whatever it is. But having something like that, something where you're having a thoughtful impact, and yeah, it's a big deal. It really is a big deal to think forward enough to try to make an impact that way. But yeah, I would I don't know. I've gone toe to captive agents in the past. In my experience, I have regrets because most of the captive agents that I had some kind of competition with in the past eventually went independent. And in retrospect, in my opinion, I should have recruited them instead and helped them come away from the dark side. So in that kind of situation, I'd probably try to create an alliance. And if the alliance didn't work, then I would outfox the fox. Oh, we got Tyler.
What up?
Morning.
Good morning.
Amber, let's see. Get info on free farmers market boxes for seniors, free phone or internet. Give out flyers for Medicare savings and LIS. Yeah, any of those, any kind of goodie bag. Like I said, people love to get stuff for free. So if you have any kind of handout or giveaway, people don't want to, again, the fear of missing out. People don't want to miss out on, hey, everybody else got one of those gift bag packages. I want one too. So what's up, brother?
Oh, nothing. Knocking out appointments this morning.
Yeah.
So, fun stuff. Got taking care of a client, and it's one of those never know where things are going to lead. I've been helping him with his drug card for the last 3-4 years now, moving him over to a new one for next year, and he went, hey, can you help my mom? So he just took over as a power of attorney for her and moved her from Missouri. So he writing a policy for a new client. So
that's pretty badass.
Do the right thing, take care of people. So
it's crazy how that works, huh?
That's just insane. Unfortunately, I'm missing out on the first 15-20 minutes here, or 25 minutes. Good grief.
Don't worry, I've been dancing for the folks at home. I think we only got 3 folks now at this point. They've gotten tired of me rambling. But yeah, I mostly was talking about people that, this is time to take inventory on where you're at in AEP. We're about halfway in, I think, almost. We have 30 days left, so we're not quite halfway in. But take inventory.
3 days.
Yeah, whatever. Who's counting? I know. And this year, I don't even want to. I woke up this morning and said, I don't want to. But
it's the 8th. We only got 31 days.
Oh, 31. Had a lady tell me she referred to me by 15 different people. That's phenomenal. That means your marketing and networking is working. That's a beautiful thing when that happens.
That's amazing. Yes.
I love it. That's what it should happen. But yeah, if you're not on pace to your goal, again, this is the time to double, triple, quadruple down on what does work and abort. Like I don't know, Tyler. I think back to that year that you were living with me, and we were both so pissed off every time we had to go over and sit in that goddamn doctor's office and waste an hour or two.
Oh, always fun. So
like
yeah,
I was seriously considering just not showing up and committing CMS violations. It had me thinking so crazy.
I'm out of here.
Like, yeah, having the old Dave Chappelle, F you, you're cool, I'm out.
Right.
I don't want to do this anymore. But sometimes it feels that way. Same thing happened my first AEP when I was standing in cold parking lots for all the food banks. Like 20 days in 3-degree weather really has you second guessing everything that you're doing in your life. Behind an MAPD, went on track with MedSub. That's okay. Whatever the numbers dictate. I don't think there is a right or wrong. But yeah, even if you're behind, all that means is you got to go harder. And again, a goal is not we have to remember, most of us work for ourselves, so it's not like you're not going to fire yourself if you don't hit your goal. But keep aiming for it, because typically when you're aiming for it, you get a lot closer to it than if you just blind shoot. So aim for your goal. Be like Tyler, just keep grinding.
Head down, keep digging.
So I'm curious, we haven't really talked since you had leave in the middle of it, but what were your thoughts on the mastermind last week?
I don't know. A lot of information taken. Definitely glad that I went.
Right. He's so much like every other red I've ever known in my life, Rudy and everybody else. Like, if you let him go off on a tangent, you don't have somebody like, hey, you're over in Italy and we're supposed to be in Florida. Like, get him back in Florida. Like, if you could keep him on track, there's a ton of information. But
Yeah,
lately
no,
a
it's
lot
one of
of
those things. Like, I would have loved for it not to have been in the middle of AEP and sat down there and done like a week-long intensive, just let them go off on every different tangent and sit there for 10, 12 hours a day and just soak it all in.
yeah, I'm still soaking it in. It's still resonating through me, and I'm still like, some of the stuff is so genius and simple, but the execution part's the hard part.
Oh yeah, keeping on track with things. I mean, that one little testing that we did there was like,
Dude,
that was fun to watch everybody, because like my green ass, right? I'm like, okay, do this, do that. All right, cool. And I just sat there.
yeah, no, I enjoy that kind of stuff though, because it reminds me that when you focus on the small picture, sometimes you forget the big picture. When you focus on the picture, you forget the small picture. And so both are really important. But yeah, no, I'm glad I went. I'm glad it was in AEP. Because again, I'm going through these processes of trying to break down and change, what I'm doing, kind of reinvent myself in some respects, because I've got to. I've got to. If I'm gonna go all in on this building up other people, that's really what I'm going all in on, is walking away from what I'm doing now. Not walking away, but for all intents and purposes, I mean, I'm switching my focus, and when you switch your focus, it's scary. So when someone that's switching their focus, or moving or any of those things, if you think of the doubts and the thoughts and all those things that you had, maybe the first AEP, you were so worried about the change in your situation that you lived here for 3 months to
Oh
make
yeah,
sure you didn't lose what you had. And each year you and your clients have gotten more and more comfortable with a long distance relationship,
yeah.
where what we came down here once this year, but it wasn't for AEP, it was for client appreciation stuff.
Well, and the way that all came down, is talking to everybody about that with my clients. It's been, I'm super glad that I did that. Of course, being able to connect with everybody, and even people who weren't able to connect with me, it was like they knew that I'm still there and I'm here to support them and take care of them, even though I'm not there. And dealing with the changes, the situation, it was like literally the day I got back is when shit hit the fan with my dad. So it was like everybody is just so understanding with that, and it's, they have the comfort and peace of mind to know that I'm still going to be there to take care of them, still going to be around. But at the same time, they're like, no, absolutely, I'm glad you're not here and you're there doing that, and they have that respect and appreciation. I mean, kind of like your situation, right, with your clients going, no, Joshua, we'll absolutely do a phone call with you so that you don't have to drive everywhere.
Yeah, I'm getting in trouble with a lot of them because I'm back to work. Like, what do you guys want me to do?
Yeah, CMS is not going to let me like extend AEP for you because of that.
I can't do that. I can't go the other direction. It's I feel better, but at the same time, I mean, if I don't, um, how much does that cost me? And what's the trade-off? I mean, what am I going to do, Tyler? Lay around? Because I wouldn't do that. If I tried to take it easy, my taking it easy would be like going to Las Vegas more, going fishing more, and wasting money in some respects, versus working on setting up my family for generations to come. Working on helping Tyler set up his family for generations to come. Working on helping Amber and Angela and everybody else that I either do or don't know yet. Because what I can tell you is that's really at this point what I mean, I guess I'm cliche like that, but I'm a middle-aged man, and my focus now is what kind of legacy can I leave? Whatever time left that God's going to bless me with, I want to make sure the impact I have on the rest of the world moving forward is the biggest that I can. What can I instill in my children? What can I instill in my family? What can I instill in myself? And how can we conglomerately have an impact on the world. What am I going to do with Tyler?
That's just that's a mess and a half. We don't need to unravel that right now.
Right. I don't think there's enough drugs and alcohol in the world to get through that.
No, it's like putting what is it, Dennis Leary? You could put Motley Crue in a room with 2 tons of cocaine. They'd come out 2 hours later, like, yeah, let's make a live album.
But yeah, I mean,
alive. Cause I have someone I was talking with last night. This was my last call of the night. We ended up talking for about an hour, just shooting the breeze, catching up. My client I've worked with for several years now, and we were sitting there talking. He knows my family situation, what's going on with that and stuff. We were talking, and yes, so going over it, he's like, "How in the hell are you still working?" Like, like it's one of those things. I mean, this year has just been a lot of stuff all at once going on. I mean, my dad, having to work completely remote. I was like, "Oh yeah, Dad, can you make sure you make my games?" Like, "Oh yeah, sure, not a problem. I'll put it on my schedule for AAP." Not thinking, "Oh, they're going to go undefeated, and I'm going to have to make all the playoffs and the Super Bowls and take half of the Saturday off to go do all this with them." I'm super glad I did. I'm really glad he told me to put it on my calendar. That's bad when your 10-year-old knows to tell you block off time for me in AAP. But it was like, doing all that, just taking time out to do that. I'm glad I did it. It was just like all those things where I don't have any extra time at all to do it. And then, Tanya's ditching me next week for the whole week. Like, "Oh, that's awesome. You got an awesome opportunity, love. Really appreciate the fact that that's in the middle of freaking AEP and you're going to leave me on dad duty by myself for an entire week." Like,
sounds like a lot of wild kids going to be running around.
Yeah. I'm like, cool. Can I just go buy a couple of straight jackets this weekend and just chain them all to the wall when they get home? Put a little trough out for them to get food and water out of, and I'll come let them out to go to bed. It's just like so much, but it's one of those things. It reminds me of when I first started, like looking back at that and going, "How did I ever survive that?"
Well, that's how any of us survive any struggle, one day, one step at a time.
Well, yeah, I know that. But when you look back at it, you're just like,
yeah.
Like I'm thinking about when I first started, right? Like I was working in the warehouse, working from 6, 7 at night until 3, 4 in the morning. Go home, sleep with 2, 3 hours, get up, get the girls to school, go home, shower, get ready, come into the office, do the grind for insurance, go pick the girls up, get them dinner, drop them off with their mother, repeat. It was like trying to just remember what day it was a challenge. And looking back,
Amber thinks you should hire a nanny. All I can think of is those, what was that, Nanny 911 or something? Where
my God.
You don't understand.
My kids, have you met my kids, Amber? Seriously?
They don't have enough insurance for Tyler's kids to be watched by a nanny. He needs to get double down on your homeowners. You got to buy an extra death policy for that nurse. You better no, Amber, I want to describe to you the last time I went over there where they lived in Colorado, and I'll never forget this. I walked out to Tyler's garage. I come back out. His boys are standing. They're both standing facing each other, parallel on the trampoline, kicking each other in the nut. They're taking turns, kicking each other in the nuts and giggling. And that was just the beginning of it. Because then they were doing it while jumping on the trampoline and other things. So that's just a microcosm of what would occur. You think about that. You're the nanny and you show up and 2 seconds in, they're kicking each other in the nuts. You're like, yeah, well, I would like to leave now.
Right. Yeah, no,
where's my helmet? You hand him a helmet and some shoulder pads and say, "We'll be back at 8," and run off.
Yeah, no. That'd be chaos. Total chaos.
Yeah.
I mean, I love my kids to death, but they are.
Yeah. I think of Peter Pan, the movie Peter Pan and the Wild Boys, when they're it's a bunch of untethered hellions, but they also are caring and sweet at the same time, which makes them extremely dangerous.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
they're like super outgoing and loving and take care of everybody, but they are like, oh gosh. And it's a force multiplier. It's not 1+1 = 2.
Yeah.
It's
It's what's the square root of 4 million.
yeah. Oh my gosh.
So, anyways, we're off topic. We got it on
Yeah.
the
We're over and
old.
out again.
It's probably more entertaining though. If we're smart, we probably just have some regular dumbass podcast where we were ourselves and cussed and told stories, and that's probably what would sell.
Do our Jerry Springer rendition.
Yeah, yeah. Do you remember when? We could do a
Right.
lot of remember whens back to what would that be, 1985 or so?
Yeah,
1985.
somewhere right in there.
That's crazy. Okay. Good old 1985. You had a rat tail then. That's the first thing that jumps to mind.
No, that didn't happen until like 89.
Okay, sorry.
It's like
No
89,
rat
90.
tail. But that stands out a lot. In my when I think of us in a childhood, I was always behind you, and I always was staring at your rat tail, going, "What are you thinking? Like, what is going on back here?"
Poor man's bullet.
It's like a tail. I kept like looking for the dingleberries, but that's what's beautiful about the 80s.
Oh, everything was a mess. I mean, the hammer pants were in style. Thank God that was the case, because that was when I broke my leg and I had that cast from my toe to my hip for 5 months.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, finally, I get to be in style and in fashion instead of wearing all hand-me-downs, because that's the only thing I can get on.
Was that the one when you got hit by the car?
No, that was that was when I was playing baseball.
Okay, so the
Yeah,
baseball
no.
one.
Pitching and baseball, I've been in a cast for 9 months. Get hit by a car, it's like it was 6 weeks.
It's sad that I have to ask you which time that you broke your leg are we talking about?
It is what it is.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree.
I would have never thought back then, though, that we'd be sitting here doing this now.
No. Like I said, half our time was spent trying to request a song on the radio. Probably New Kids on the Block or something stupid.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. What a good time. A beautiful time to be alive, I would say. Kind of wish we were back at that time. If I could be me at this age, then it would be great.
Oh, it'd be dangerous.
Because then I could be one of those boomers bitching and moaning, selling my house for 20x or 30x, whatever they're doing.
Right. Oh no, it's not, that's one of the things is like flexibility, right? I mean, I have a bunch of clients that are going all over the damn place now. It's like, yeah, we're moving to Florida, we're moving to Missouri, we're moving to Arkansas, Pennsylvania. I mean, all over the country. I mean, the ones that are going to Cali
Oregon.
and in Oregon are pissing me off.
Holy cow, Oregon. Did I tell you I had to abort mission on Oregon, so we're not going to Oregon.
Yeah.
I had to go to an insurance company, president or CEO of an insurance company, and I would have to had a letter from them explaining why it was okay for me to get my license there. I was like, all right, you know what? Count me out. I'm out. Because if they're that crazy on the way in, I don't want to know what it's like when I'm in the club.
No, that's Wolf of Wall Street.
It was a little aggressive. And she's like, basically, it was so aggressive that she emailed me and said, are you sure you want to continue? Like, basically, it was like, here's the waiver. Would you like to continue the process of getting your license? This is going to get ugly. She's like, it'll take a long time.
Here's your one abort button that you can use.
Yeah. She goes, I'm going to send you the application. It's very intensive. You can't miss anything at all. If you do, you're out. I was like, I'll just get out now, I think. We don't need those 3 clients, I think.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah, no, we'll be okay there.
So, sorry. Oregon's out.
Worst things have happened.
Yeah.
California, I've got, it sucks too, right? I mean, you got to do all the fingerprinting and all the other nonsense. Are you any further with that one?
Well, I've sent in everything they've asked. I'm just waiting for it to get reviewed. Like 8 months later. See,
and that's one of the things that like drives me crazy with this business is like when you're sitting there and you're not like, contracting and licensing, two things that just suck.
Well, yeah.
Like just because there's no dialed in, service or something. It's not like you can hire it like you can like
the only time it's easy is the first time. Like when you're doing your first contracting, everything goes and you're going, wow, this is great. But anything after that, no.
Yeah, no. With the licensing, I've got a client in California that he's like did his review, going over what to do. I'm like, yeah, this is where you should be. I can't do it for you right now. Still waiting pending. He's like, well, my wife's going to be turning 65 in February, and I have like 9 other people, but I don't want to waste your time just doing reviews with them if you can't set them up. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't mind. I don't have a whole ton of time on my calendar, but if they want to do their scope and send in their needs analysis, I can run it and just say, yeah, here's a basic rundown of what you need, and try to connect them with somebody. But I'm like, I don't mind doing it, but it's like because there's a little honeypot sitting there, and it's like I feel like Pooh Bear. It's on the top shelf, and I'm trying to climb up the shelves and bite off the bees and get up there to get into it. Like, oh my gosh, it's like. I don't know what the deal is with that. I really wish that there was some type of standardized process where they could go in and do that. So you don't have to repeat the same damn thing with every single state.
Look, quit trying to add logic and reason to the government processes, Tyler.
No.
It's a good way to get canceled, bro. Why are you so far left right now?
I mean, I guess I'm just triggered. Maybe I should go hide in my safe space for a little bit.
I triggered you? Bummer.
Let me go hide in my safe space.
The closet. That's right, hide.
One of the girls said that. I think it was Ryan. She's being a smart ass. Stop it, Dad. I'm going to my safe space. I'm like, you don't have a safe space.
Yeah.
So this cracks me. I was like, safe space? Like, what the hell is a safe space? When I was a kid, there was a safe space. Safe space. Like, safe space was I'm hiding underneath my bed because there's a monster in the closet when I'm like 4.
Yeah, there is no.
Like, what is this nonsense? Like,
no way. No way.
Protected, but that was really fun. I love talking to some of my clients.
You lost the crowd when you said that, by the way. We went from 6 viewers to 2 viewers.
Oh, good. See, they went to their safe space.
They all left for the safe space.
They all went to their safe space. Perfect. Good.
They aborted the mission, which is fine. They probably had an appointment to go to, right?
Hopefully that's the case.
Yeah. It's sad how untrue that is for most. Like, what are you doing today, Tyler? I look at my calendar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 people that I'm talking to today. What are you doing?
Oh, Jesus. Slacking off, apparently. Right after this, I got a recap with someone who I got to touch base with them, check if she's waiting on her Part B, turning 65 for November. But rather than just showing up at Social Security office with her application going, process this like I told them to do, they called, made an appointment. The first appointment was on November 2nd. Like, perfect. And she has no insurance right now at all because they can't afford to exchange or whatever. And
well, I really hope and pray that what happened to me doesn't happen to her.
Yes, me too. So I'm like, grief. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 people.
So we're going to help 50 something people between the two of us. What are you guys going to do to make an impact on the world today? Tyler, why is everybody not just crushing it, helping 20 people a day?
Best bet, laziness or fear paralyzation.
I think basically it's laziness either way. It's either mental laziness or physical laziness. Stops almost all of us. Whether I'm too lazy to motivate myself today, I'm too lazy to go make this phone call. I'd rather, when you work for yourself, it's really easy to make one less phone call. A lot more easy to do that than it is to make two more.
Oh, yeah.
Stay a little longer when there's no boss to tell you to do that. And what I would say is, remember what this is. This is an opportunity to help people and change the outlook of your next year. Yeah. So what are you going to do, Tyler, when the back's against the wall? I know what you do. You do what you got to do to get it done. That's why you're successful. That's very clear.
Yeah, it's just redirecting and being less aggressive with that now that I'm older and wiser.
You're starting to become what I call life neutered for sure. Although you still get triggered like I do.
Oh yeah.
Although for me, when I was thinking about it, I don't know when it was, like a week ago or sometime the last week. I don't mind getting triggered. I've been trying to stop from getting triggered. It's like, screw that. Because me triggering is me and my brain releasing all of that energy immediately. Like, to use what we learned, let the pressure valve off, let that steam out. I'm fine. I'm not responsible for everybody else reacts to me. So if I get triggered, it's on me to get triggered, but it's also on you and how you react to it. Let me do my thing and I'll be over it in 5 minutes.
Yeah. No, and that's
like parental warning. I may cuss a little bit. I may throw something. Like, what did I throw last time? A fit. I threw a tantrum. I've done that a few times. And then, I go, what the hell? And then I watch Jacob do one and I go, oh, that's what it looks like. Well, good thing I don't care what you think about me. I'm just going to keep moving.
How was that yesterday, by the way?
What, the whole day off with Jacob? That was wonderful. Yeah, no, we got to. He's such a smart manipulator, like his old man. It makes me proud. So we're getting in the car, and he's like happy, jovial. Let's get in the car. And then I go, "Where's your backpack?" He purposely left his backpack because in his mind, if we don't bring the backpack, I don't got to go to school. So that's step one, right?
Yeah, I mean logically.
So then Aaron and I are going to take them both. So we're going to take them together to school. So we get in the car and we all start driving over there. We got the backpack in the car, and so then we get there. And so I get out of the car, open the back door for Jacob, and I go, "Okay, buddy, you ready?" And he goes, "No, thank you." And I go, "What?" "Thank you, Dad. You want to go to school?" He goes, I want to stay in the car. All right. I go, "Well, maybe it's your birthday, so I guess we can let you have one day off." And so then we just kind of took him around. We took him to Walmart, and he got to pick out. I mean, it really surprised me. It really did. Tyler, I offered him a choice. I mean, we drug them over next to each other. It was either a new 4-wheeler Power Wheel or like the biggest, baddest Hot Wheel garage thing you can get. What do you think he picked?
Hot Wheel garage.
Yeah, all day long. Although it is pretty sick. At the top, it has this little thing where you shoot the car and it hits the mouth of this dragon, and the dragon like spins and falls off the building. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie, but I was surprised because he's always mad when Paige rides off on her Ford. I was like, "Well, do you want a new Ford with her?" The Jeeps that we got him, they work fine, but like you'll be going and they'll just stop, like something shorts out or something, and then you have to wait a minute and you have to start it all over again.
Sure.
So we're just gonna donate them to somebody because I'm tired of the hassle. of having to go push it.
Sounds like a pain in the butt.
It was a pain in the butt. And I bought all new batteries thinking maybe it's just a battery issue.
Well, yeah, that was the first thing I was just going to say.
So I did. I swapped the batteries out, Tyler. Did not fix the problem. So I was like, okay, you're dead to me. You. So if anybody knows somebody in Colorado who's less fortunate, who has some kids that want some Power Wheel Jeeps, let me know.
A little work.
You just got to be patient.
And special.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, we got a few minutes left, 3 minutes, and then I got to make sure I jump off on time because I go right into the appointments today. But
yep.
So, anyways, I'm definitely on track still because I was almost at my goal by the 15th at the end of the last month. So we're good.
Very nice.
We're good.
I
think I'm at like 160 now.
115, 120.
Right.
Maybe.
So between the two of us, we're doing pretty good.
Not doing too shabby.
Not bad for a couple of old guys coasting.
Right? Yeah. Guess we could actually try at some point, but whatever, I guess.
No one be called a showboater or cocky or anything,
Heaven forbid. Might trigger somebody again, lose all our viewers.
Yeah, we might lose all our viewers again if you do that.
Oh.
Care.com, hire a nanny.
Yeah.
So
that sounds like a terrible idea. And could you imagine the nanny I would get out here too?
No, I know. It would be, like I said, the whole thing would be just wrong. Just wrong. I just can't. There's no scenario in my mind where that goes well.
No, not at all.
I can't think of one way that would go well, unless you use a heavy amount of sedation. Like, okay, they are all in a medically induced coma. Do your best to keep them in said coma, and you'll be fine.
You'll be all right. Just switch out their bags, make sure they stay hydrated. Let's go.
Bags. Because you only know that term because of your dad recently.
Yeah.
Change your dad bags, boy.
Oh man, no, that was crazy too. Like Monday, I spent 10 hours with him. I drove down there first thing in the morning, picked him up, then went and sat with him at the hospital. And again, I just opportunity where people aren't taking advantage. Right, I'm sitting there in the hospital, got my little table set up next to him while he's getting his chemo done, sitting there chatting with him. Like, oh, let's do it.
You set up an informal sales event while your dad's in the hospital? That's genius, by the way, if you did that.
I was just sitting there doing client calls, like working off my laptop, like doing my client calls. And the nurse is like, oh, what do you do? I was like, oh yeah, this, and talk to her for a minute. She's like, oh, you got a couple of cards? Because I know a lot of people who could like use some help with that. Like, yeah, absolutely. Here you go. Give her cards, whatever. And she goes, yeah. Just like, I know people come in here and need help all the time, but like I know people personally. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, she asked me that. And then like on the way out, like 3 or 4 other people that were in there, like, hey, can I get one of your cards? Because I have that. I'm like, not even trying, like just working. Where most people would have gone, oh, I'm going to sit here and do nothing for the day and just hang out, which is like I hang out with my dad, but he's doing chemo. I mean, he passed out for half-hour naps like 5 times.
Yeah,
like, I'm going to sit there and twiddle my thumbs.
All right, brother. I got to run. It's 8:00.
Done
on the dot. Love you. Have a good day. We'll see y'all next week. Maybe. Unless you get triggered again.
Yes. Or if I'm tied up in the attic somewhere. Yeah. If I'm not on next week, you don't hear from me, send a search party.
I will fly to Buffalo and check it out. All right. We'll see you guys.
Have a great week.